Well, hello, everybody, and welcome in. It is a Saturday, and it is November the 15th. We are halfway through November. What? Halfway through November. Golly gee. Holy cow. Whoo. Welcome in on this November 15th. I'm Chris Allen, and this is 270 weather. Weather for the 270 area code. And for those of you that live even beyond the 270, we include you as well. There's your 270 weather headlines down at the bottom of the screen. We've got a lot to talk about this evening. I'll try to not make it go long, but I mean, there's a lot to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is to address something that I posted on social media earlier today. And that was something I've talked about here on my videos from time to time. And that is the fakers, the grandstanders, the posers. And just today, someone approached me and said, "Why aren't you talking about the big storm that is coming for Thanksgiving?" And I'm like, "What big storm? Who you listening to? Where did you pick that up from?" And they said, "Well, I'd rather not say in case you know them, in case they're a friend of mine or something, you know." Well, I kind of know where they got it. Okay, let me just let some of the people locally in the 270 who do weather, you guys are off the hook. And anytime I say something, it's not directed at you. I just want you to know that. I've got some good friends out there who know how to do weather. They're experienced at it and they know what they're talking about. And, maybe what I should do one time is just put out a list. I don't know. That just sounds like, I don't know. I'm torn whether to do it or not. Is just to say who are the reliable sources, because then yes, but then if I leave out somebody, they're going to get upset with me like, dude, I'm not a reliable source for weather. You know so you run into a problem when you try to do that. Let me just say that most people in this circle of the 270 area code, which is from pretty much a little east of I-65 and all the way over to the western part of the state, any TV, radio, social media people that put out a forecast, they're okay in my book. There may be a few that from time to time kind of go off the rails, but we've all done it. I've done it. Do they get it wrong? Yes, I've gotten it wrong. Hey, for over 40 years, I've been one of the few when consultants told me years ago, and my bosses at my former employer told me to never, ever go on television and say, "Yeah, I got it wrong. Sorry." Oh, that's a no-no. Don't ever do that again. Don't do that. And I'm like, okay. But I said, look, I'm just trying to be honest with you. It's the whole thing of Miracle on 34th Street, where the Santa Claus, supposedly the real Santa Claus, says, "Oh, well, just go across the street to Gimbel's. They can take care of you." Why would you sent business over there across? Why would you do that? And then they realize he just did them a big favor by helping the customer, serving the customer. That's what it's all about. And when we lose sight of that, that's when our credibility goes down the drain. And so let me just be right up front with you guys and say what I posted today was, now some of you are going, ooh, maybe I should go back and look. It was just drawing attention to all the social media hype that is out there about Thanksgiving. And I see what's being done. It's because it's a big holiday. It's one of the busiest, or if not the busiest, travel weekend of the year. And anybody that's interested in weather and wants to be like, I'm the one who called it, I'm the one who said 6 months ago that it was going to do this on Thanksgiving, they're wanting the attention. I get it. So this is the time of year, the holidays, when you're going to hear a lot of stuff that is just not going to make any sense to you. And you're just like, well, now who am I supposed to believe? Well, I say believe who you want to believe, but who has the track record? Who has the experience? Who has the credibility? And yes, like I put in my post, my grandpa used to say this, and at first I never got it. He was a clockmaker. He was a watch fixer. I mean, he would take people's watches, the old Timex watches and clocks, the old Big Ben clocks and stuff like that. And he would say, well, let me tell you something. A clock, a broken clock, can be right 2 times a day. And I'm like, Grandpa, what kind of drug are you on? It just didn't make sense to me. But now I get it. Now I get it. A broken clock can be right twice a day. In other words, every once in a while, even the hypesters will get it right. But they will also get it wrong. So the thing is just trust a source that you rely on, and don't fall for every little post that goes up there with all the pretty colors and the big flashy fonts and all this kind of, it's to grab your attention, and it can be misleading because put in a disclaimer and little tiny letters. Well, it's not a forecast. This may not even happen, but ooh, it's eye candy. Yeah, this one, you'll find it. It says, this is eye candy. Well, guess what? Candy is not good for the eyes. Well, that's a truth. That's a truth right there. I just landed a truth bomb on you guys. And it ends up sometimes scaring people, especially when you're talking about severe weather, tornadoes, flooding, damaging winds, large hail. When you start getting people upset and getting them fearful of the weather, you're not doing anybody a service. You're just making them afraid. So all I'm doing is just calling it out and saying, let's just stop the madness. Who was that lady that was back in the 80s or 90s? She was a fitness guru, and she would say, stop the madness. I think she's dead now. I'm sorry. That just came out wrong. I'm sorry. Fitness guru. She's dead now. All right. I'm sorry. All right. I'm getting off my soapbox. Okay, here we go. Look at this. Look at this. The official high temperature today in Bowling Green here at the airport, 79 degrees. And I've got like a little disclaimer that I just talked about right underneath that in small print. We were just 1 degree shy of the record high temperature of today, 80, set back in 1931. By the way, 1931 is regarded as one of the hottest or warmest years on record for Kentucky. So that tracks. That 79, 20 degrees warmer than the normal of 59. We were 20 degrees warmer today than we should be. But guess what's about to happen? A weak cold front's going to come in tonight, and it's going to knock those temperatures back down. We're going to hit the reset button on temperatures, and we're going to go back down tomorrow to where we should be for this time of the year. The low was 58. That's really where we should be for a high temperature, not a low temperature. And of course, no rainfall, and I don't foresee us getting any. There's a weak cold front coming in tonight that all it's really going to do is switch the winds from the northwest, and that's going to bring in the cooler air tomorrow. But there's very little, if any, moisture associated with that front. So I don't think we're going to, usually when you have those kind of fronts come through, it's, with nasty weather, but this time that's not going to happen. But you know what? When there is nasty weather, you're going to need a generator. You're going to need backup power. And I can tell you this, that without knowing for sure just how bad the winter is going to get, the trend is going with this La Nina winter that we're going in. It looks like it could be an active winter season. How do I know that? Because you were just saying, hey, past 3 days, you really are just kind of guessing at the weather. Yes, that's true. That's true. Even I know that. But we can go back and do what we call analogs, and that's where we go back through history and we can track historically what a La Nina or El Nino type season, what kind of weather it will produce. So that's what we base it off of. Instead of just putting up one model, one picture of one model on the screen without any context. That's what a lot of these things are missing, context. At least I will, if I do that, I will at least try to explain this is just one model and the context is this is what could happen. And from what we've seen, what could happen this winter is that somebody's going to need a generator from Generac, the number one name in generators and the number one installer of Generac generators, authorized sales, service, and installers, R&R Controls. They've been doing this for a long time. They've been doing HVAC for 40 years. So they know what they're doing. And right now, I just told you, today, the 15th is the middle of November. How long are you going to wait? You're going to wait till the middle of December before Christmas? Let me see. A few years ago, something really bad happened just before Christmas. Tornadoes. All right, Chris, are you saying there's going to be tornadoes in December again? It's possible with a very active La Nina type situation. It's possible. Or it could be just the opposite thing, where instead of tornadoes, we get a very serious winter storm with ice that can knock out your power. You're going to need a generator. So why not call R&R Controls? I bet you're curious as to how much it really costs. And I can guarantee you, when you talk to them at R&R, you're going to be like, oh, it only costs that much? Wow. Or if you're like, I still don't know if I can do this, then they'll say, hey, we can set you up with financing. So you pay a little at a time each month and you get your generator. So why not call them? 270-777-2024. That's the number to call. 270-777-2024. Because with R&R Controls, heating, cooling, ventilation, automation, and generator service, you will never, ever be without any of that. R&R takes care of it. All right, we move on. And this is what I wanted to talk about because, and we show this on TV as well, but it's from the Climate Prediction Center. And the Climate Prediction Center is always showing us a look ahead based on what I just mentioned, the analogs and historical. We've got over 150 years worth of historical highs, lows, tracking when it rained, when it snowed, all of that. So, with all of those records, we can look and we can see the pattern, how the weather is behaving. You know, I call it misbehaving or behaving. Is the weather behaving? So, we can look at all that, and they do this, and they can tell whether we're going to start to trend warmer than normal or colder than normal. And as you can see by the colors, over the next 6 to 10 days, that's from the 16th, today's the 15th, so that's tomorrow, all the way through the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. And what do you see? Right. Warm colors. I don't see any snow. I don't see any big cool down. I don't see snowstorms. Warmer than normal. And even more so as you look at Kentucky and Tennessee and the Mid-South. Warmer than normal. All right. So there is your temperature trend. Let's go out, just out of curiosity, let's go out 8 to 14 days. That would take us starting November 18th, going all the way through Thanksgiving and December the 2nd. Oh, well, now there's a little bit of something there. As we get deeper into the end of November, this would be mostly after Thanksgiving and the beginning of December. It trends a little bit cooler, but out of more curiosity, let's go out 3 to 4 weeks. That's a whole month. So that would take us into the middle of December. Oh, now, okay, based on this, it's going to get colder, but look at the colors. Look at where we are. You see Louisville, you see Nashville. We're right there in the middle. What that means is equal chances of either being normal high temperature, normal low temperature, without anything above or below normal. And the normal for the middle of December is around 50 degrees. So even this far out, the trend at least is showing that we're going to, yes, get cooler, but not colder. The trend is we're going to stay pretty much like we've been. Now, what about, let's talk about rainfall, precipitation. I can show you that too. Okay, here is the 6 to 10 day outlook. Again, as I've been showing on TV, if you've been watching, the trend is wetter than normal. This coming week, it's going to be wet. I mean, there's going to be rounds and rounds and rounds of rain this week. Maybe up to, 2, 3, 4 inches of rain by next weekend. It's very possible. So let's do the same thing. Let's go a little bit further out, like 2 weeks. It's still showing some above normal precipitation. But remember, we're going to be warm, so it's going to be too warm to snow. Well, let's go out a whole month. There's a little something there. But remember what I showed you on the temperature map? There it is. 4 weeks from now, December 15th. We're going to be about normal, which is around 50 degrees. And let me go back to the precipitation. They're going to be a little above. So it's going to be a little damp, but still temperatures in the 50s. So nowhere do I see what has been blowing up on social media with this OMG big time, oh my gosh, look out scenario. I just don't see it. And just based on the analytics, the analogs, records that are kept, I don't think we're going to go that direction. I just really don't. Now, something could change. I'm leaving that little out right there because it's so far out, so far long range that anything could change. But right now, I just don't see what they're throwing out there. So what they're doing is clickbait. And that's it. That's all it's about. Clickbait. So I'm just trying to make sure that you guys know that when you look at that stuff and then you come to me or people in this area that are like me that do the same thing. They're not on TV necessarily, but they do forecasting. And then we're the ones that have to answer the questions about, hey, why aren't you talking about this? Because so-and-so's talking about this and they're saying it's going to happen. Why aren't you saying it's going to happen? Well, because I don't believe it's going to happen based on the way things are trending and the knowledge that we have of historical weather. I'm just saying. All right, here's a look at radar and along with current temperatures here at 7:07. If you're watching live on this Saturday evening, 71 after getting to a high of 79 today. Now, there is a cold front. Let me find it here. Turn it on. There it is. Okay. So now this is the cold front that is going to come through late tonight. It's almost to St. Louis right now. But notice it has no rain with it. I mean, I'll even turn on a nearby radar and that's not rain. That's just ground clutter, buildings, birds, and bugs around the St. Louis area. But that's not rain. There's no rain associated with this front. Now, it may pick up on a little thin stripe of some light rain somewhere, but I don't think around here. But as that front comes through tonight, temperatures will start to fall. Notice how a lot of 70s out ahead of the front, and then you see 50s and low 60s behind the front. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to cool off big time. Once we get into the day tomorrow, we may start a little warm and then, but not as warm as today. And then it really starts to get cooler. By tomorrow night, we'll be back into the 30s. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed today and last night and today, because that's going to be about the end of it for at least this time period. Let's take a look at current temperatures right now from the Kentucky Mesonet Network, courtesy of WKU. And here at 10 after 7, we're at 69 at the Western Ag Expo Center and 69 at the Corvette plant. 70 in Barron County, 71 in Morgantown. Upper 60s, low 70s. After reaching highs today in the mid to upper 70s, I'm looking to see if there's maybe an 80. Did anybody hit 80? We almost did. Here in Bowling Green, we were 1 degree shy of the record high of 80 set back in 1931. But I don't see an 80. We got close though. What's the low? What has been the low temperature for today? We started out upper 40s and low 50s. And of course, no rainfall today. Winds are currently from the west southwest, still breezy. And I think they're going to stay a little breezy overnight tonight from the southwest at, say, there could be times 10 to 15. How about some gusts? Gusts today, like yesterday, 20, 25 to 30 miles per hour. It won't be that windy tonight, but it is still going to be rather breezy. All right, let's take a look at rainfall chances. And this will be all rain. There's not going to be any snow mixed into this because, as I showed you, temperatures are just going to be too warm. And as you can see, now we've started to stair step back into that 2 to 4 range. Remember, I said last night, if you were watching, it dropped off. But sometimes the model runs will take something. They'll take a run that says, hey, we're looking at 2 to 4 inches over the next 7 days. The next model run will drop it back down and like, where did that go? What happened to the 2 to 4 inches? Now it's nothing. And if you'll recall, I said, just wait, because today it could put it back in, and now it's there. Yeah, the models give and taketh away, and it keeps doing that. But once we start getting into the short-term window, things start to become more consistent and look a little more favorable for that. But yeah, we're still looking at 2 to 4 inches of rain for the next week, but it's going to come in waves. It's going to come in rounds. It's not going to happen all at once, which is certainly good news because we don't want it to happen all at once. Okay. Let's move on now to the maps. And here we go. With the here and now, let me refresh, and there we go. Now, see, this is trying to put out that a little thin stripe of some light rain up toward Evansville and along the Wabash River into about Seymour, Indiana, as that system comes in, but it's slowing down. But here we go into midnight, early tomorrow morning, early Sunday morning. And somebody's going to get a raindrop or two, but more likely east of Somerset, London, Corbin, into the Cumberland Plateau, and then into eastern Kentucky and West Virginia. But not necessarily down here in Bowling Green. Most of the 270 will just stay dry overnight tonight with the passage of that front. And then the winds will do the shift from southwest to northwest. Here we go into Sunday morning, pretty quiet. Sunday midday, quiet. Sunday afternoon and evening, quiet. Now, high pressure, which will be in charge tomorrow of our weather, is going to begin to move away further east. And that will allow some moisture to start to move in to Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. And then as the high pressure ridge moves away, then that allows for this moisture to take over. So this is Monday evening. And this is when I think we're going to begin to see better rain chances, even maybe a rumble of thunder. Nothing severe. Nothing severe. Now, this is where I really think we're going to have thunderstorms, and that's on Tuesday. I think Tuesday could be one of the rainiest days this coming week because of how this setup is. Warm front out to the east, cold front, and a couple of areas of low pressure back to the west. That warm front will take that moisture, that little bit of concentrated moisture, convective, make it convective, lift of warm air. And that means we could have a few what I call elevated storms. These are not surface-based storms where the sun heats up the surface of the earth, and those usually cause severe storms. These will be more elevated above us. And these are usually not severe. So I think that's what's going to happen on Tuesday. Then we go into Wednesday, look at the coverage of rain everywhere. Thursday, here comes another wave. This low pressure system, this wave will enhance the moisture. So Thursday, like Tuesday, is going to be another good rainy day. Rainfall percentages have gone up 60, 70, almost 80%. So, yes, this is going to be pretty good coverage of rain this week. Next Friday, here we are again. Good coverage of rain with another cold front. But we're not done. Saturday, 1 week from today, we're still damp, saturated with moisture, rain. Now, it may not be necessarily heavy rain, but I do think on Tuesday and Thursday, those would be the days with the enhancement of moisture that we could have some drenching downpours. But again, I'm not seeing anything that red flags severe weather. So if anybody's telling you that, they're also faking you out, grandstanding, posing. How about the model blender? Here it is. Now, this has been a very good baseline template, if you will. This is why I use it, because it stays pretty consistent. Things are not going to go wacky. All right. Usually they don't go wacky. Now, last Monday was a little wacky with the cold and the snow, but we saw it coming and we told you about it in plenty of time that it was coming. You don't have to be 2 weeks out, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 months out and try to make a prediction about something, because it's just really, then it's just a guessing game. And I will tell you that anything beyond 3 days out is a guessing game, just based on historics. But when you see how the patterns, the weather patterns are behaving, we can kind of do a pretty good job of at least outlining where things are going to trend. Are they going to trend warmer or colder, wetter or drier? So that's what this is. So we're looking at a much cooler 62 tomorrow. 62. We hit 79 today. 62 tomorrow. Then we drop to 34. Yeah, it's going to get cold again. You're going to have to turn on the heat tomorrow night, Sunday night, because when you get up and go to work Monday morning, it's going to be cold. But it'll be fine. It'll be clear. The rain won't start until we get into Monday afternoon and evening. But look, we go to 60, then down to 44. So no fear of anything turning frozen by the time the moisture gets here. And then remember the warm front? It comes in on Tuesday, and look what happens to the temperatures. Boom! 70s. We're going to go back into the 70s for pretty much every day next week, Tuesday forward. Now, as we get into next weekend, and next weekend will be the weekend before Thanksgiving, we cool, but we don't get cold. 60s. And as I mentioned, the closer we get to Thanksgiving, maybe 50s, but that's still well above freezing. I don't see anything there that red flags us into OMG, what's about to happen. It's not there. Now, if you'll recall, last night I did a couple of things. I showed you one of these graphs that I'm getting ready to show you. This one is a new one. Okay, this one is about the using the European model, which a lot of these people that try to do some forecasting that are throwing a lot of big deal stuff out there, they will take this and go, well, look, okay, we're looking, and this model is showing pretty consistently what I just showed you. But it does show you Thanksgiving and the day after, Black Friday. I've got them marked in red. And this is the model that I posted earlier today with the post I was telling you about from the beginning. That, yeah, I mean, there it is. 50s and 60s, lows in the 40s. Now that could change, yes, but according to how things are trending, most likely not. But since a lot of you will be traveling, some of you will start to travel even this coming week. And you're going to want to know what the weather's going to be. Well, there it is. To say it's going to be exactly that would not be the right thing to say. But to say that it's going to trend mild or seasonable, that is true. To say anything else is just inaccurate and most likely done for clicks, likes, and shares, or as we like to call it, clickbait. I will never, ever, ever try to clickbait you on the weather. And I'm not saying that because I want you to go, oh, Chris, you're such a good boy. I don't want that. Okay. I don't want that. I don't want that. Stop. I appreciate it, but stop. I just think that we that have been doing this for a long time need to call out the incredulous, the ones that are doing this with not the right intentions. And because it just makes our job harder to try to explain. I mean, look, I've taken, well, I can see a clock. You can't see it, but I can see it. It says 37 minutes that I've been talking. And I said I was going to go short. But it's just things that have to be explained every once in a while, and you deserve an explanation. So that's why I said what I said. Now, whoever you trust with the weather, just please trust somebody, because when the weather gets really bad, I want you to trust who you trust, even if it's not me. You got to trust somebody to tell you where the storm is, what it's doing, where it's going, how to stay safe. You got to know those things. And if they're not telling you that stuff, and all they do is just blow up the forecast to tell you, they do what I call drive-by forecasting. And this is where they can just throw up something like that and say what's coming. And then if they're wrong, you never hear from them. You never hear them get back on social media and go, you know, folks, I was wrong. I am so sorry, but I was wrong. You know, it's why it's called a forecast. It's not an exact science. It's a forecast based on historicals and based on what's happening right now to try to give you an idea where it's going. But we could be wrong. And I have been wrong so many times that I cannot count it. In 42, 3, oh no, almost 45 years. Good Lord. I've been doing this for almost 45. Well, collectively. But yeah. Oh, hundreds of times I've been wrong because it's a forecast. And just remember that when you're seeing all the stuff on social media, and then you come to me or you come to other people that have some credibility and have experience doing this, and you ask us, well, why aren't you talking about it? They're talking about it. I'm going to start following them. Well, okay. Bye, Felicia. If you want to, this is America. It's a free country. You do what you want. But I'm just not going to sit back and go, oh, I could say something about it, but I guess I don't want to stir the pot. Oh, listen, I have reached the age now, ladies and gentlemen, that I am at the get off my lawn age. Get off my lawn. I'm there. And now that I have this platform where I can spend an amount of time explaining things and not within the mere 3 minutes that I have on television, I'm gonna do a get off my lawn stuff. I am. I'm gonna go there because it's like I've had enough. And I know it's not gonna stop it. It's gonna continue. It's social media. No one will ever be able to stop it. But here's what I do want you to do. Parse out and disseminate what you feel like are the trustworthy people and just get rid of the rest. Just pick out who you feel like you can trust with your forecast, even if it's not me. And I mean that. Even if it's not me, trust somebody with your forecast and with your weather. Who has the heart? Who has a servant's heart? Who is really in this to try to keep you safe and informed? And if it's not who you're looking at, or if it's not who you're following, then just go where you feel like you're getting what you should. Okay. Because there's just way too many people out there now that is just muddying up the works. Used to, we didn't have to worry about this, but now we do. Okay. I'm going to shut up. Gosh. All right, you guys. Thank you. I love you. Appreciate you. Appreciate your trust in me all these years. And I'll just keep it rolling here on the 270. Thank you for watching. Have a great Saturday evening and a blessed Sunday. And I'll see you back here tomorrow evening.